Our Seeds of Faith for today is entitled, Heed the Warning. Nowadays, you can see a lot of warnings like wear a face mask, no face mask, no entry, no face shield, no mask, no ride. Senior citizens and under 21 years old are not allowed to go out. Be honest with your travel history and possible exposure, and many more. Even with these warnings, you can still see a lot of people who are not heeding it. Now, this is the reason why the transmission of COVID-19 continues. Now, in the Bible, we can also read about stiff-necked people who did not listen to the warnings of God through the prophets and seers. Now, 2 Kings 17:13-14 say, "The Lord warned Israel and Judah through all his prophets and seers. Turn from your evil ways. Observe my commands and decrees in accordance with the entire law that I commanded your ancestors to obey, that I delivered to you through my servants and prophets. But they would not listen and were as stiff-necked as their ancestors, who did not trust the Lord their God." Now, what can we learn from these verses? First, God continues to warn people not to do evil things. Now, since God has endowed us with the freedom of choice, we can either choose to obey or disobey God. Now, God's commandments are clearly written in the Bible. It is up to us to heed it or not. Just remember, my friends, that when you do not obey God's commands, there are corresponding consequences. Secondly, God calls people to be His mouthpiece. Now, in the Bible, we can read how God has called different people to be a prophet, a judge, king, priest, apostle, pastor, teacher, and many more. This means that in every generation, God sends people to warn other people, to choose what is right, and to shun what is wrong. If God calls you to be His mouthpiece, then accept it. It is a noble calling. It is difficult because sometimes you will be speaking to people who refuses to listen, but it is rewarding when you see someone surrenders his or her life to God. My friends, let us do our part in heeding the warning. Let us be responsible citizens of our country. But above all, let us be exemplary Christians who lived out God's commandments. Let us also do our sacred duty to warn others and to turn from their wicked ways. May God bless us all. Amen.